That's the dumbest idea. We watch films all the time. We just like, we make fun of them. We talk about it. We just freaking, just record ourselves doing it. Just put it online. It's the worst that's gonna happen. That's stupid. Nobody watches YouTube anymore anyway.
DJ, you're a genius!
Genius.
Step 1. We create a YouTube channel, making fun of movies and getting copyright struck into oblivion. Step 2. We start doing live movie reviews in the car, in the dark, with bad audio. Step 3. We do what every single millennial our age does, and we make a podcast. And it's never going to be seen because we flooded the market. Yes, millennials. Step 4. We eventually get shadow banned to the point where someone will eventually find us in the deep, dark recesses of the internet and let us make a movie, for God's sake! We can do it.
No, we can't.
We can do it.
We can't do it.
We can do it, you and I. You editor, me the writer. We can make it do or die.
We're gonna get shadow banned.
Oh yeah. You're probably right, but we'll still end up doing it anyway for 3 years with 60 subscribers and no hope. Until now. Because we've started adding musicals!
Oh my gosh.
Hey, it worked for Rachel Zegler, and she has the personality of a trash can.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
If YouTube can make Rachel Zegler an actress with a multi-billion-dollar contract, it surely can get us our books written. Make it happen, YouTube.
Oh, man.
What are we going to call this channel? Maybe we'll call it... Welcome back to Entertainment Rebooted and another episode of Cinema Revisited Mel Brooks, where we are watching all, or most of, or the ones that we actually cared to find, Mel Brooks movies. And we are talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the iconic of this great legendary director's filmography for the most part. I am joined, of course, hopefully in life. Unfortunately, probably also just, I'm going to haunt him in death. I am joined, of course, by my esteemed co-host, none other than DJ. Say hi, DJ.
Hi, DJ. I was going to do it eventually.
I think you've done it before.
I probably have, and I resisted it the last 3 times. I had to do it this time.
It's the power of 3. The power of 1. The power of 2. The power of hi, DJ.
Many. Oh, sorry.
Power of hi, DJ. Anyway.
Sorry. A little bit of an Acolyte reference there. Okay.
You know, maybe Disney will start coming after us as hard as Universal did. Eventually, we'll start pissing off enough people that they'll start talking about us amongst themselves at their big powwows at, like, the Bohemian
Oh my
Garden.
gosh, that's the solution to all of our problems, John. All we have to do is piss off all the big people so they have to watch us.
Yes.
We have there's like 1,000 subscribers and it's all Disney execs.
They're all sitting there just like, what are they going to do next? I heard about these guys from Universal. Apparently, they trashed Huge Jacked Man and Van Helsing to oblivion. How dare you make fun of that?
Disney, come Disney, please. We're ready for you.
Well, hold up. Like, let's see. Who have we pissed off? We pissed off
Universal, Paramount.
Paramount went after us. Yeah.
Disney,
Yeah.
Fox, and Universal twice.
Well, since we pissed off Fox, we actually did piss off the big dog, the big cheese, the mouse himself.
Yes.
Eventually, though, they'll start talking about us, and they'll just be like, we have these really annoying YouTubers. We just shadow banned them into oblivion. They got like 60 subscribers, but they've got some points. You know, they say some words and it makes us feel big things. And because it makes us feel things, we can't have other people realizing that they've actually fixed all of our movies.
Some of them can't be fixed, but we try to make them better.
Speaking about things that we usually do better, we actually usually get into these videos a lot quicker, but I don't know, man. We're coming to the end of Mel Brooks, so
this is the end.
This is the last movie that we're talking about. Good, bad, ugly, iconic. I don't know. We've talked about doing like a recap of like his whole shebang if we wanted to do that.
Maybe, but this is the last film. This is the last Mel Brooks film in the series that we're doing. So this is kind of it. This is the end.
Yep.
It's the end of an era. So I'm not really in a hurry to get it done, but also ready to be on to the next thing. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, this is like the first like official series that we've ended and not canceled.
That's true.
So anyway, though, if you guys
rip Curbstone.
Rest in power, King.
What do we watch today, John?
We watched...
Now that we're 10 minutes into this video.
Speaking about being like 10 minutes into the video, though, if you guys are still watching this, like, just putting this out there right now, we've talked about maybe doing a recap of all the Mel Brooks movies that we've watched, like, you know, Good, Bad, Ugly, Iconic. If you guys are interested in us actually like recapping like the entire series of all the movies that we've watched, maybe doing like a ranking or just discussing Mel Brooks's style in general, be sure to leave a comment. We can easily throw together a thing and get that out next month after this one comes out. But without further ado, we'll go ahead. Cinema Revisited. We watched none other than the 2005 cinematic masterpiece, The Producers, the musical, starring none other than Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick, Uma Thurman, Will Ferrell. It is actually like quite a few big names in this film.
And it began the trend of a movie turning into a musical, turning into a movie musical.
It's true. It's like the first one. Like it is.
I don't know
like,
if it is the first one, but it's definitely the first one I can think of.
It's one of the first ones. Yeah, because the other one I can think of is like maybe Heathers. Heathers got turned, like it was a movie, turned into a musical, turned into a TV show that flopped.
That's fair. But this is
this
has now been done a lot. But this was pretty new at the time for it to go that way. So yeah.
Anyway, so we watched 2005's The Producers, Good, Bad, Ugly, Iconic. Let's do a brief plot recap for those who haven't seen this film or the 1962 film that this like originally was based off of.
So this is the 1962 film, but with music.
And better.
I actually do like it better. Okay,
it's a better ending.
The plot of The Producers is actually pretty straightforward, and the summary doesn't even really require a lot of movie. The main plot of the film is a producer who's down on his luck meets an accountant who does his books and realizes that if you do the books right, you can actually make more money on a flop than on a success by
funding
over
overfunding
over percentiling the money by giving out more shares of the film than you possibly can, because you can take everybody's share will be smaller. You pay back the investors the loss. The IRS doesn't care. The investors don't expect to make money back on a loss,
so nobody will be looking for it.
So you can way overcharge for the play and then actually spend very little to do it and then take the rest of the money with you. And they do. They work on. They get the worst actors, worst producers, worst directors, worst screenplay in order to make it happen. And
not screenplay, but play.
Well,
script.
Thank you.
Play script.
They by happenstance of basically getting the worst of everything, it ends up being satirical and hilarious, and it becomes a success, therefore ruining their plans to make the big flop that they wanted. And in order to try to save themselves, one runs away, the other one stays, and then he comes back in the big finish in order to save his friend. It is quite endearing, and in my opinion, it is honestly even the beginning. I think like 10 minutes is almost shot for shot a remake of the original. where he must have watched it.
Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick does a really good impression of
Gene
Wilder's original curse, and it follows it really well through the most part. So if you've seen the original, you're going to see a lot of repetition in this as a remake, but it does add music and it changes the plot a little bit about the climax to the end ends quite a bit differently than the original. So it is worth giving it because it is enough different that it feels like a different film. So that is my summary of this one.
Yeah, that's an accurate summary. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Good, bad, ugly, iconic, and then just because this is like a brand new film and it's also Mel Brooks, we usually do like what's something. So for this one, let's talk about what movie would you want to see made into a musical?
That's a good one. That'll work.
Or would benefit. I think benefit because The Producers, the movie itself is not that popular of a film. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I really enjoy it.
I liked it.
It didn't do super terribly well for like the box office and things like that.
Well, it ran in Broadway, didn't it, for a while as an actual play, didn't it?
Yeah, and it won a Tony. It won multiple Tonys, if I remember correctly. So when it came out, the film apparently just did not hit well with like the theater crowd, and it's a musical, like shot for shot of the musical, essentially. So just not the most successful.
Well, 2005, I think, was a bad time for musicals too. Musicals started to get really popular again in the 2010s and on. With younger audiences, so that might have been part of it too. So I could see that being tough.
Anyway, good. What would you say is good about The Producers 2005?
Okay, so the good thing about this film is it's kind of a two-parter, but part one is it follows the original plot. It doesn't destroy the original film. It pays homage to it pretty well. And we've talked a lot about Mel Brooks is really good, like making fun of other things. One of the things you can tell is made fun of in this film is his original film. He actually exaggerates some of the parts of the original film that people didn't like to make fun of itself. So that's really good. Like it's Mel Brooks' first parody of his own parody. Yeah. The Producers is a comedy film that is an original premise that he created. A lot of the other films he did are based off of specific movies or genres or preferences. So he spoofed himself.
Yeah, and he does
that. It's done really well. It's really good. It's solid. And the second part of it, the hush to it, is that it is original enough it changes enough that it feels like a different movie. It doesn't feel like I'm just watching the same movie again. Yeah. That was the problem I had with Dracula Dead and Loving It. I feel like I'm just watching the 1960s film all over again. It doesn't.
30s.
The 1930s Dracula all over again. This doesn't feel like that. It feels like a unique take on the film, especially with the significant change in the third act.
Yeah. Speaking of that significant change in the third act, my good is the fact that I believe that this film, the 2005, the musical version of The Producers, fixes the 1960s film. Mm-hmm. A lot of the things that we did not like, well, I know for a fact that I did not like about the 1960s film. I don't necessarily want to speak for you. It's been a minute since we watched it, so. But I remember that my bad and my ugly was that the bad was they purposely got like the worst person to do Hitler, like immediately to begin with, and it was already going to be a bit of a parody, and they kind of knew it was going to be kind of a joke. So when everybody loved him, that was kind of surprising that they thought that they weren't going to.
That's a good point. Like, wow, everybody's already liking this. The people here are liking this. Wait, will this succeed? And failing?
Yeah, and so
did you not miss that? That's a good point. I like that. It does change that to be a little bit more surprising that it went well.
Yeah, and the thing is that they had planned to actually have like the playwriter do it, and he was the only person that was going to actually take it seriously. So when he breaks a leg, they randomly are just like, oh, we got to like last minute. The director's the only person that really knows it. He can sing all the songs. He can do all the different things. We'll just throw him at it. And because we have to make it run. Because if we cancel it, then they're definitely going to know what we did. So, just last second picking the director to do it, it should be absolutely terrible and awful. But then it's like, no, actually, you turned it into this satire because he's so flamboyant, he's so over the top.
Had the original act, had he done the Hitler, he would have done it super seriously, and it would have, when Hitler first came out, they would have still kept leaving the theater. It would have died.
Or if he had thought that they were making fun of him while they were doing the show live, they would have ruined the show because he had flipped out.
Yep.
So
on page 4, like he said in this film, it's like page 4. Like when Hitler shows up, that needs to be the death of it.
Yeah.
And the changing it to the other guy saved their play.
Yeah. But then also on that, like the rest of the film, like the way that it ends, the way that it moves and progresses. One of the bad things about the 1960s film was you had Max and Leo at the bar, and it kept shooting back and forth from the people's reactions to the bar, and the show's starting to do really well. It's starting to really move, and everything's out of context, and just like you kind of wish that you saw more of the play. It feels very incomplete. It feels very weird that they're constantly cutting back.
Yeah, that was a big complaint of mine in the first one, was that they don't really show what's happening at the play. They go to the bar and you don't know what's happening.
And then they'll shoot back to a very interesting scene, but they won't finish it. In this one, when they start the play, it feels like you actually see the entire play, and it's only 2 scenes. You get the initial introduction, and then you get the final reprise. Well, actually, it's like 3 scenes, because you get the introduction, the Springtime for Hitler number, then you get
the war, the ending number.
And then you get you get Hitler's interspersed, where he does his
yeah, that's what, you have the Springtime for Hitler, and he has this little solo song, and then they have the war
reprise. And so it actually feels like an entirely complete play. So when it turns around and you see the entire thing, you see everybody like really getting into it. It feels more complete. It feels more put together. And then the way that his name Hans? It's Franz.
Franz, yeah.
So when he comes in and he's flipping out, it's not, we're going to blow up the theater. It's like, no, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, why would I kill you? Oh, you should kill the actors. And like they have this whole scene. That whole ending wrapped up a lot better. And then everything in the prison, and how the film ended with like Sing Sing, and I think that's how the movie ended. The 60s movie.
The 60s movie ends with them in prison doing the prison the prison song. That's where it ends. And this one actually gets them out of prison with the pardon. Yeah. Yeah,
and the pardon was just a funny addition. Like the way that it's just like, oh, for bringing about all this morals and all the killers and rapists and crooks, we give you a full pardon, and then it shows them having success. It wraps up well.
Yes.
So overall, just like the good about it, I'm not necessarily going to say like, it's an iconic thing, but the good thing is that it takes almost all of the issues from the 1960s film and it fixes them.
Yep.
I think it's a better movie overall. It has its issues. I'll get into it. I'll admit it has issues. Speaking of issues, what's bad?
The bad that I have for this one is very similar to my first bad that I had in the last one. The 1960 one takes way too long to get to the point. There's a lot of slapstick and silly humor. It's funny, but you see they do overemphasize Bloom's like nervousness and things quite a bit. This one actually gets through that a little faster, but then they have that opening part and then an entire opening number of them singing about how they can do it. And so it drags on. You don't get to the point where they're actually picking the person for the play. You're like a third of the way through the film.
It's true.
But it speeds up pretty quickly after that. So, but it's not as bad as the original. It does not feel nearly as grinding, but it's still, compared to the rest of the film, still feels a little slow as a startup.
I would say it's very slow up until he chases him out of the apartment.
Yep.
And they do the whole thing with the taxi.
Yep.
Like halfway through we can do it.
Yep.
Because one of the better song numbers, the one where it really picks up and it really starts going, is I Want to Be a Producer.
Yes.
that number that's when the movie just takes off.
That was when I started really getting into it. Before that, I was starting to think, oh, this is just the 1960 film again.
Yeah.
But that number and onward, I'm like, oh, okay, here's the originality. It's adding stuff. It's adding a lot more to his struggle. I can get behind this.
Yeah. For the bad, I would say that I think that as much as I really did enjoy the casting in this movie, I kind of feel like Uma Thurman was a little bit of a misfire as far as like the overall cast, because Uma Thurman's like, she's talented and, you know, gorgeous, and she plays the part relatively well. The issue is that whenever she sings, she doesn't carry the accent very well.
Oh, well, that was Will Ferrell had the same problem.
Yeah, so
they lose the accent when they sing. Yeah,
it's not like the worst part, but it is a thing of like her number is I think one of the worst musical numbers.
Oh, the Flaunt It one. Yeah, because that was the what, like it was funny at first, but then her accent kept flipping all over the place. Though funny enough, that fits a Mel Brooks film, that kind of like, that feels like a Mel Brooksism, except for it's not done funny. It's so inconsistent, it actually comes across as bad, not funny.
If they had made a comment.
Yes, if they made a comment.
Like if they had just made a really quick comment, like one of them was just like,
what happened to her accent?
Well, yeah, something like that, where like she starts like singing and stuff and there's no accent, and it's just like, sing it to me, just sing it to me. Like whatever you're trying to get at, can you just sing it to me? You know, like
something
like that.
If they had made fun of the fact that her accent is inconsistent, that would have made it really funny.
Yeah,
but they don't, and so it just comes across as kind of bad. Yeah,
it's not like, oh, it's the absolute worst, it absolutely ruins this film, but it is something that I'm just like, it's not the best. How about Ugly? What is something that you actually would warn somebody about before they watch this movie?
Okay, so this is going to be the same one that I gave for Blazing Saddles. It's going to be the same one that I gave for the original list. It's the same one that I gave. I don't know. I don't think I did this for History of the World Part 1, but the ugly of this film is kind of similar to like what we said with Iconic. Is the source material is incredibly taboo. Like, they make a play about Hitler having a good time. The ugly of this film is the iconicness of it, is that it dares to go where films won't go anymore. And this was done in 2005. They do the Springtime for Hitler. I mean, they show the people get all aghast and everything, but it's hilarious. Like there's a great line in this film where they go, he goes, you made a fool out of Hitler. And he's like, he didn't need any help. And I was like, that's funny. Like, they understood that it was taboo, and that it was like, the director took it like, you have like a gay director like taking this, like a Jewish person producing the actual film that this is, you know. That's the funny of this. Like, you're mocking somebody who has, it'd be like the same thing as, like, you know, making fun of Voldemort, right? People, just don't say his name. People get, the hushed tones of that make someone have power over you for generation after generation after generation. Making fun of these kinds of things is what makes them have no power anymore. Now, you also don't want to completely lighten it into nothing, because they make the point, like, Hitler made enough of a fool of himself. Like, obviously Hitler is like a ghastly thing. Like, we recognize that it's not something that people really want to talk about much, but also we recognize it's okay to make fun of him. And the ugly of that is that it can insult and offend, but the iconic nature to that is that it can enlighten and lighten the load. And the people in it, funny enough, we were making this comment, we were watching the film, the people were all sitting there all aghast going, oh my gosh, how could they make this? The play was literally called Springtime for Hitler, a new neo-Nazi play production. Like, literally. It was, and people, if they leave a packed house to watch this, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, how could they make this?" I was like, "You went in the theater and bought a ticket for this. I don't feel bad for any of you." And that's kind of how I feel about like the film itself. People watch things like Blazing Saddles and stuff, and they get offended by it. I was like, "Well, you knew what you were getting into." Like,
kind of in the description. Yeah,
it's in the description. Yeah. It's in the name of the thing. Like, be prepared to be hit with a lot of black comedy, and be ready to laugh at it. Probably feel bad about yourself. That's it. I'm done. Okay.
Did you do your iconic? You tied both in?
That's the both.
Okay.
The iconic of this is that it threads the needle.
Okay.
Blaze, it does what, and it does it better than the original 1967 one. Like you said, I will add this part. One of my major complaints of the original one was that part of the play. They show the beginning of the play, and then they cut out before they finish the first number.
Yeah.
And then like keep going in the middle of random numbers, and then like it's jarring. And I remember saying, like, they don't even have to show the whole play. Just show an entire number, like the open and the close, and we'll feel like we saw it.
Yeah.
They nailed it in this one. Opening number,
seamless transition too. So it's like
opening number,
watching it.
A single number, and then the closing. And you know that's not the whole play, but you get the idea that
you've seen it all.
I made the comment when we watched it. Did they show the whole play? I mean, I know they didn't, but it felt like they showed it.
Yeah.
And you get to see the offensive nature of it, but the comedy and the people's reaction change. That's iconic. Like, showing that kind of thing. And honestly, I'll even call it iconic. Like, going back to a previous film, I feel like Mel Brooks watched our video on this and
Mel Brooks has a time machine
and fixed it. I mean, obviously did, but like, it's like if you were to read, if we were critics of the day and we wrote our review that we made in our channel in an actual newspaper, and he read it. Oh, okay, I can see that. Let me go fix that in the next time I do this film. And he did. He fixed those problems. It's significant. It's a significant improvement over the original as a whole. I like Gene Wilder better than I do
Matthew
Broderick. There's a few, but as a whole film, I think this one was a better made film than the original.
That's fair. All right, so I get to do my ugly and my iconic back
yes,
to back. All right.
You do.
All right, so the ugly of this film. So the thing about this movie is that it actually has a lot of the original cast from the Broadway production. So Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane were both in the Broadway production. The ugly about this movie is it is filmed almost exactly, even like to the point where it's like the staging and everything, but also the acting itself. The people have been in their element for so long that they try to film it like a Broadway show without a live audience.
That yes,
and so
you feel that a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Dear Evan Hansen. Have you heard of that? The movie? They made a movie based off like the Broadway show.
Mm-mm.
So an issue that people had with the Dear Evan Hansen thing was, one, they cast the guy who was originally in the play to play him, and it was like he's supposed to be a 16-year-old, but he's played by like this 40-year-old dude. And it's more forgivable if you're on a stage because you can't really see him, but now they're like zoomed in on his face. But the other thing is that because he had done the play for so long, he continued to play as if he was playing to a stage and not a camera. So it's a lot of over-exaggerated looks. It's a lot of big, flashy movements, and it's a lot of like over-the-top acting.
There's a good bit of that. The
ugly of this film, I would say, is just like, I'd kind of warn people ahead of time where it's like, hey, you just have to play it kind of like you're at the theater, like you're at the Broadway show.
Right.
Because it is a thing where it's like, if you're looking at it like a movie with movie sets and movie musicals, like if you're looking at like Chicago, for example, it's not going to have as much, you're not going to have as much fun, because it does become a lot more apparent, especially with Matthew Broderick, that Matthew Broderick is in full-blown Broadway mode.
Yeah.
Because not only did he play in the Broadway play before the movie came out, so the original cast. The movie came out and he continued on with the Broadway production. So he's like full on like in that mode.
Yeah.
So he's very much playing to an audience that is not there, including all the positive. He does all the pauses. They do all the little pauses and the little different like lead in. You know how in live productions when you're leading back into dialogue, there's a little bit of a lull and then you start getting back up to your volume. They do that in this movie.
Yes. Well, another that's true. One of the things that they've done, I mean, there's been a lot of these done now, like book to play to film or movie to play to film, where they got the cast that did the play, and you could they did that with Mean Girls.
Yeah, a couple of them are actually from
the main character and the main villainess are from the actual production, and you see some of those things. You do see a little bit of that happen. They do a little better, but you do see some of that for sure. Wicked, I think, had an entirely original cast.
Yes, all of them are movie stars,
and so it came across like a film. So there are some, you can see that happen with different mediums when they do that. I was gonna say Legally Blonde, but Legally Blonde was a film that was made into a Broadway musical. It has not yet been made into a musical film yet. Probably will, but
at some point, yeah.
But it's
a good movie and it's a good musical.
There's a lot of films and books and things that have been made into musicals that eventually become a film version of the musical, and I kind of like that because it's really fun to see the changes that are made, the exaggerations and some of that come to life. But I do feel like there should be a lot more of that, like making sure you understand the medium that you're doing.
Yeah. So yeah, turning from the ugly though to the iconic, I would just say that this film is just fun. It's fun. It's a fun movie. The musical numbers, they're all hilarious, all the little gags and things like that. It's a thing where, like I said, I'm a little biased. This is like one of the guilty pleasure movies for me.
Had you seen the original before?
No.
We watched it together?
No.
Okay, so this was your first foray into the producers, was this one?
Yeah, this was the first time that I saw it. So like, I have relatively positive memories and watch. It's kind of like Van Helsing.
Well, yeah,
but not on the same level. Van Helsing is a bad movie that I have very fond memories of, and I like making fun of. This movie I enjoy. I think that it's actually a very fun movie. I love the humor. I like the musical bits. The set pieces are gorgeous.
Well, I think it's cool because you come from it having watched this first and then the 1960. I did it in that one first and then this one, but we both still like this one better. Yeah. You saw this one first, I saw it second, and I still think this is the better version.
Yeah. I would just say though the iconic is that it's a really fun movie. One thing I would say, just like as a note, this movie is a lot more entertaining if you're watching it with friends who are equally being receptive to it.
Yeah.
That is one thing where I've watched this movie, like I said, I enjoy it. I've seen it a couple of times by myself, and I've always enjoyed it, but I don't know, just watching it with you, man, like we're both like catching the little humor bits and we're both laughing at it. It's a lot more fun when you have people watching it with you.
This is what I like to call the theater effect. One of the reasons why I like watching, like, especially very emotional, like big movies in theaters, because sometimes you miss things or you don't quite catch things, but when you have an audience of like 1,000 people in a thing and someone laughs, you're like, well, wait, like you maybe you didn't realize something was meant to be funny or something was meant to be serious or a revelation or something. When you hear other people's reactions to things, it really gets your blood pumping. And when you're when you're in an audience of just like just 2 or 3 people that are close friends, like watching a film, like sometimes you would laugh really hard and then I would laugh really hard. Sometimes we laugh hard at the same thing. It's a different experience. And like there was a moment I almost fell on my chair laughing so freaking hard because I was just like losing it. I can't even remember what the scene was. There were so many good scenes where I was just laughing so hard. I think this is the hardest.
You were laughing really hard when he couldn't he stole his pass from him. He wasn't even allowed to relive his own life.
Oh,
he was reliving his mom's life.
That's
He was reliving somebody named Alvy.
He goes, my life is flashing before my eyes. Wait, that's not my life. That's somebody else's life. Somebody else's life is flashing before my eyes. What is that about? He stole my ass from me. I was laughing so hard. Because I've never seen that done. Somebody else's life flashed before my eyes. I was born in the Bronx.
Like, that whole scene is hilarious. And then, like, on top of that, like, the icing on the cake for that scene for me that I find hilarious is that it actually starts fading in as if we're about to experience it with him. And it shows the mom on the porch, and it's just Nathan Lane in drag.
And he's like, Alvin, you gotta do your chores, milk the cows, and pick the eggs. Wait a minute, am I just not Alvin? Who's fast is this?
I've never been in the country. I'm not a redneck. I'm not some country bumpkin. I lived in the Bronx.
I grew up in the Bronx. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. I think it's actually the hardest I've laughed at a Mel Brooks film on this channel.
Yeah, I think so.
Part of that is because the ones I would laugh at the hardest, I've seen so many times I don't laugh as hard anymore.
That's true, yeah.
But it feels like Mel Brooks. It doesn't have like the anachronisms and some of the Brookses. It does have one. It has one anachronism. It has one fourth wall break where she's like, he walks out of the camera to the right. It's like, why are you walking camera right?
Why is Bloom so far camera right? Yeah.
So far camera right. And I was like, ha, there it is. But the original didn't have a ton of Brooksisms. I remember actually talking about that too. Like, oh, it doesn't have that many. He wasn't into the anachronisms as much and things quite yet. This managed to get one in, and it felt more like Brooks than the original did.
Yeah, it felt like he was more able to see his vision.
Yes,
in it. Yeah. Just like I said, the iconic of
he didn't direct it though.
No, he wrote
and produced it, but he did not direct it. And I was thinking about that. I was like, you know what? Maybe I was gonna say maybe he's not as good a director, but he does. A lot of the ones he directed, he did really well with. So I don't know.
I think that one of the things about Mel Brooks as a director that works really well is that it's really clear that he's able to get people to have fun on the set.
Yes,
I think that it's a good thing that he didn't do this one because, he's not a musical director.
Right.
He does like musical sets and musical bits and pieces and like Robin Hood Men in Tights and stuff like that. But this being like a full-blown musical, I would want a different director.
Yeah.
I would want a director like the one that they picked. So, but yeah, iconic of it is it's just a funny movie. My favorite scene personally is the unhappy and they're in their accounting firm. That whole scene for me is just like, and it's partly just like I've been in an office environment.
Hit
like
home
that.
a little too close.
It's home, but it's just all of the little humor bits that happen. Like when he starts going off on the boss and he's just like, "You're a certified public asshole," and everybody's like, "Hooray!" in the background.
It's like, what?
And then the fact that if you pay attention to like the people in the background when the showgirls show up at the end, they're all reacting to the fact that just showgirls have shown up.
Yeah, they see him and they're like, "What?" Yeah, no, that was crazy.
Yeah, that whole scene, like, it's one of my favorites. I just love that one. I just had to throw that out there. Like the iconics, it's fun. That specific scene is probably one of my favorites. All right.
Okay. So this one is probably way too, like you said, way too recent to like remake like we would normally do. So your suggestion was like, what's a film that we would like to make into a musical or like correct or maybe into a musical?
Well, what would be a film that would perhaps benefit or be better as a musical? I'm going to go ahead and just start right off the bat. Van Helsing.
With Muppets.
Father.
Everything is better with Muppets.
Everything. Oh man, if they made a Van Helsing movie where they had the Muppets play
I want a musical remake of The Princess Bride with Muppets.
And the only human is you've said this before, the only human's Wesley, right? No, wait, no.
No.
Kermit's Wesley.
Kermit's Wesley. Miss Piggy is what's honey
Buttercup.
Buttercup. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Who was the only human? You had like one very specific character had to be a human in that movie.
I can't remember. It's based off of a meme, and I agree with it completely. It's like the only human.
Humperdinck. I think the Prince Humperdinck was the only human. No, the six-fingered man.
Maybe. I can't remember. But
Yeah.
I would actually have, I would probably do more human actors. I would have the king be human, and Humperdinck be, I would have Humperdinck would be human, the Six-Finger Man probably human. A lot of the villains would do human. That works really well. In a lot of the Muppet films, the villains are humans.
Well, but the only villain that you could have as a Muppet, if you're going to do that, one that has to be a villain is the guy in the Pit of Despair. Has to be Beaker, and he has to start the monologue speaking normally, and then
Well, no, you have Professor Honeydew and Beaker be together.
Yeah, and they're the torturers.
Beaker, grab the machine, the suction machine.
But okay, so
I'm dead serious. Like that would be like if I'm gonna do a musical of something, that's like on the top of my list. Muppets and making a musical, and because it's grand, like straight up, it'd be humorous.
So you're saying a Muppets musical version of The Princess Bride?
Yes,
That's what you would want.
yes.
Okay.
It's already kind of a little bit humorous, but it's also quite serious a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I would just take it whimsical as all heck and do with it. Well, part of my inspiration from that actually comes from. I'll remember it in a minute. There was another film that was like a fantasy film that was done very humorously, and it's really good. But that's the other option would be to take the classic. Damsel in distress gets saved by the handsome man ring, and then have her turn on him, and then it be turned into a musical television series, and maybe you call it Gallivant. Gallivant is the epitome of
The epitome.
Epitome is the epitome.
Did you say mature wrongly? Are you one of those where you say the word wrongly and you think that you're correct because you say it obnoxiously?
No, it's incorrect. All right, so
that's one of those things that I will die on a hill, because there's not a single person that I know that says mature, that says nature, feature, nature. Like,
yeah, but English is also stupid. Anyway, the epitome, the epitome of
aperture
of like just black comedy fun is Gallivant. It's what I wanted to do, is take a serious subject that's done over and over again and make it into a comedy musical. There's a musical number in that show about two peasants talking about how their basically lives are horrible because they get diseases easily, and they're servants, they're treated like crap, but they can be in love with each other, and that's okay. It's great. It's awesome. But I wanted that for the Princess. The only way I could accept a Princess Bride remake would be with a different medium, because the original film is timeless and a classic, and it's hard to remake.
Well,
but I want it to be funnier.
It's impossible to remake, really, because that is actually one of the few novels that got made into a movie that is actually the screenplay and the direction is done by the author.
Yes.
It's one of the few. There's only like 2 or 3 that I know of, like right off the bat. I believe the original All Quiet on the Western Front is directed by the author. And the Johnny Got His Gun.
Yeah,
that movie is done by
so the author, you can tell he makes shortcuts and stuff, but it's the book is incredibly satirical.
Yep.
There's whole italic texts where the author's talking about how, oh, they had blue jeans in that day. And there's like a 5-page essay about how blue jeans actually existed back in that time. And it's hilarious. But you don't get that in the film. So the way that he made the film humorous was by making really fun, like, juxtapositions and character positioning. But I would love to take it like the next step and remake it with Muppets and make it a musical and just go ham. The specific reason I would do it with Muppets is because if you just did it with people, I think it would fail where Dracula Dead and Loving It failed. It would feel too much like the original. You got to pull it out of there completely. And the reason I know that would work is because a Muppet Christmas Carol and a Muppet Treasure Island are two stories that have been done to death in 1,000 mediums. And they are, in my opinion, two of the best versions of those tales. And there are really good versions of those tales that came before them.
Yep.
So I know it can succeed. The Muppet Christmas Carol is like the 35th telling of that story, and there's some really good ones that came before it. Treasure Island, there's 2 live action films and several children's like plays that have done it. Like,
although the one film that did it the best, in my opinion, would be Treasure Planet.
Don't.
I love Treasure Planet.
I do also like Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet's great.
It's actually a really fun film.
Yeah.
But those are 2 really fun versions of those stories and tales.
Yeah.
And they stand the test of time, and they're timeless because they're told in a time that happened before they were made anyway.
Well, yeah, and I think that you have a point there. Like, if you took like Princess Bride specifically and you made it like Muppet, it could work, and it could work also if you add musical, because most Muppet films actually are musical.
Yes, Muppet Treasure Island
Almost
is.
all of them are. Actually, all Muppet movies are. They all do music.
Muppets Take Manhattan, I don't think. No, the Great Muppet Caper, I don't actually think has really any music in it.
You know, one thing that we could do, we could watch all the Muppet movies.
We could actually,
because the only one that I've seen recently is Christmas Carol. And I try to watch that every couple of years. All the other ones, I don't actually know if I've seen all of them except for the Treasure Island one.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of them. It was just before my time.
Fair enough. The one that people know the least about often is usually Muppets Take Manhattan. That one is like nobody knows that one exists, and it's actually one of my favorites. But
if you're
my least favorite Muppet film is the first Muppet film because it establishes it, but they just get better every single time. I would love to do that, and honestly, that kind of goes well with this because one of the things that is getting harder and harder and harder in media, this is not really a rap. This is actually relevant to this Mel Brooks thing because this is a remake of one of his own films. It's getting harder, I think, and harder for them to remake films for modern audiences because so many films are kind of timeless classics as they stand. Look at Lord of the Rings. 2000 Lord of the Rings stands really strong even 20 years ago. The special effects, there's some... You can make the effects a little better at parts, but you can fix it later. But the actual film stands the test of time. The way I think of the future to remake things for modern audiences is to change the medium. Do things with, like they did with the Lego. They did a Lego documentary for Pharrell Williams. That kind of stuff. Different mediums to tell the same stories, and that's been done. They did there's the Disney version of Christmas Carol that's an animated with the Disney characters. The Robin Hood, 1950s Robin Hood, or 1970.
Yeah, 1970 for Robin Hood, where they made it into
with anthropomorphic animals, you know.
Well, Disney did that a lot.
Yeah, but just different mediums to tell the same story. Or even whole different things. Oliver and Company is the tale of Oliver.
Yeah, it's Oliver Twist.
It's Oliver Twist, but in New York with cats and dogs.
New York with Billy Joel.
Or how Lion King is a retelling of Hamlet. You know, these are fun ways to take a story that's been told 1,000 times and readapt it in a different medium. I mean, and Disney used to be the forefront of that. Aladdin was that. Pocahontas. These were reimagining of tales or twists of tales that were not necessarily right on to the original. But Hercules is a really good example of this. Nothing like the myth, but it takes the feel of it and makes it a family friendly movie.
Yeah.
We're more of this, more of that. That's what I want to do. This has inspired me to be a part of that kind of a thing.
Okay.
All right, I'm done.
Fair enough. All right. 12 minutes later.
Sorry.
DJ smelled the Muppets. And he had to follow the scent all the way home.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, so I don't know. It's like I've had a hard time like thinking about movies that actually I think would be benefited from being musicals, because I keep thinking of like satirical, and I was like, it would be hilarious doing like a musical version of Van Helsing, but also it'd be. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, you could take Evanescence, the movie Underworld, and turn that into an Evanescence musical. That could be kind of funny.
Well, you could also do more serious stuff. Like one of the things that I always postulated is that Star Wars would actually make a really good serious musical.
It could actually like
a dark musical where like Vader like sings about like his past, but he's like this dark as he's slaughtering people and then singing about how woes of his past. Like this is. You could think like all modern. I did notice that for the most part, all modern musicals are comedies. Really?
Well, it's easier to move on to.
Wicked.
Well, that's
is the exception of the drama.
Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, it's good. Well, yeah, Phantom of the Opera, but it has been done on Les Miserables.
Yeah,
Les Miserables is an excellent example of a serious, like dark, dramatic musical. I'd love to see more of those too, that take things that have been done and redo them a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's hard for me to like think right off the top of my head, a movie that would really benefit from having a musical treatment. Because another vein that I thought
what about a horror?
Like,
think of a horror film.
Well, I was thinking like Baby Driver. Because Baby Driver's, he listens to music and it has a good soundtrack. As horror, what would be a good one that's actually a horror? I mean, you could get pretty deep into like some different themes when it comes to like Wolfman. You could have a wide variety of songs in Wolfman.
Wolfman would actually be a really fun thing to do a musical from, and I would take a lot of inspiration from the original.
The
1942 one,
41,
because he's a tragic character.
Yeah.
But actually, funny enough, that gave me an idea. You know what actually would make a really good musical transition? Werewolf of London. Thanks for the Bullet has a really different feel when it's a musical.
Thanks for the bullet.
Well, but I mean, no, but it, like he sings.
It would be. Yeah.
He sings like I don't want to hurt anyone, and then he gets shot, and then he says thanks for the bullet because he just gave this great musical number of how he doesn't want to kill people.
Right. That's how it.
That movie would actually significantly benefit from a musical because the tortured soul that he's going through would be more prominent in that film, and it would save a lot of the film's like dramatic elements by just putting it to music.
Yeah, that film also being relatively not that great benefits
from
because we talked about how like the She-Wolf of London, if you had combined the two, actually makes that film better. A lot of things would make that film better. A musical adaptation, I could see it.
Yes.
Because you'd have a lot of big, bold, dramatic songs, and there's a love story entwined with it, and there's also some strange elements that you could throw in there.
Yeah.
You could build off of that, for sure. I think you're onto something with that.
I actually thinking about it, like a lot of bad films that could really use some fix. If you don't want to just remake them, doing them as musicals is a fun way to remake a film. And so because
Future World.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Future World as a musical.
Actually, that would be really fun.
That could be a fun musical.
That actually would be
post-apocalyptic musical.
That would be really fun. No, because like how it was over the top and we kind of laughed at it. But if it was like like if you started belting about how I'm here to murder you all, and they're like, no, it'd be
and then a kid gets thrown into a gong. That's how they end the musical.
Musical. So many remakes get kind of messed up, I think, because people want to put their own spins on things. A musical is a way you can put your own spin on something without destroying the source material completely.
Well, and you can
and you can fix a lot of things while making it your own, and it not feel like you're just remake. Oh, I just stole this film and made it better.
What happens later?
Yes.
Hated that movie. What if it was a musical?
When they were in the stuck in the airport the whole time. That would have actually made
maybe something like that. I'm trying to think of like all the bad movies we've seen recently. The problem is that they've all
one of the things you can do in musicals that you can't often do in film is when you want to get their inner thoughts out, you have them sing.
Yeah.
And the musical numbers are often their inner feelings and thoughts expressed. In a lot of films that are especially based off plays that don't have that overacting dramaticness to them, musicals bring that back into the film.
Yeah.
So a lot of films that benefit from where you really need to see what they're thinking, make it a musical. What Happens Later would have actually probably made a much better musical because they could have been the only two characters there, but they're singing and they're like, I missed you. We passed each other. They kind of
you get their inner feelings, their inner monologues. Maybe you get some more of the backstory through song.
You know very little about these two people and all of their backstory. It's exposition
in monologue.
One of the major problems with that film is it's 90% exposition through monologue. You do that as a musical, boom, benefits greatly. The original producers had a lot of exposition through monologue. Doing it through song makes it way more entertaining.
Yeah.
The original The King and I, similar thing. When she's expressing through song and dance the way that she feels about the king and how their relationship is complicated.
Well, I just thought about it. Prince of Egypt.
Yes.
10 Commandments.
Yes.
That movie being a musical was epic.
Yes.
Granted, you also had Hans Zimmer.
Well, yes, but
but
it's the same. Well, it's the same thing like The Lion King when you had Elton John, involved, or Michael Bolton in Hercules.
Hunchback of Notre Dame is much better as a musical too. Yeah. Hunchback was made as a serious film. Like they had a 1925 black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It was a serious film, and the book itself is very gothic, and
very dark.
Adding like the music to it really makes that stand out as an iconic film.
People, I will say this, and I will die on this hill. People have scrutinized and ripped Disney a new one for changing so many things to adapt to be very different, and I'm like,
kind of what they
I don't care they made a difference when they make it good. People will get mad.
I'm starting you on a whole nother tangent. We're getting into marathon territory. We're getting into like a rant territory.
I just want to put this out there because like a lot of people
all right, final thing you can put out.
People will get mad if you're too close to the source material because we've already seen this. But if you get too far away, this isn't what I wanted. It's like I like movies that take the visual medium and use it to its extent and do something fun with it. I don't give a crap if it's even anything like the source material as long as it's fun and entertaining and you're clear about that. Aragon made a lot of people angry because it was just nothing like the book. I kind of enjoyed it, but I saw problems with it even as a film, so I could see that. But Jumper is a movie that's very different from its book, and I actually really enjoyed that more than the book. I read the book in from it because it gave a very original spin on the thing and it was something unique. Disney made itself over the years of taking grim fairy tales and historical things and other works and putting their own spin on it. And Hunchback of Notre Dame, Pocahontas, Hercules are nothing like the myths and books and source material they're based on. but they get the idea of the characters, the story. They mostly right. Hercules' journey, these things, they get that right. They get that well. They get the heart of the story right, and they do original thing.
And this ties in with this.
The producers did. That's what they did.
Yeah.
The producers took the original producers. It took the heart of it, what it was, and it made it better.
Okay.
And different.
Yeah.
And better. And I like Disney's Hercules better than the original myths is based on because they're insane. Disney's easier to follow, and it's fun. It's a fun movie, and it gets the heart of the idea of Hercules overcoming struggles. It does it fine. Like, oh, these made up myths that people made up thousands of years ago was twisted a little bit. Okay.
Well, it's like Tangled.
Yes.
Tangled's one of those where it's like the actual like Grimm fairy tale. I think that Grimm fairy tale is only like 3 pages long.
And it's incredibly dark.
Yeah.
She dies like pregnant and destitute.
It's terrible.
Oh, the Grimm tales also themselves were changed because they were orators before they wrote a lot of it down, and so it changed a lot.
Yeah, it was just mythology.
Yeah.
It was they took stories that villages had shared so many times that they just tried to get it as they tried to get to the heart of it.
Yep.
I think that was their
and they collected it, and then they wrote it down, and then
they wrote down the collective version of it.
Yep, and they wrote down multiple versions and made changes. So like even if the original authors can change their stories, like other people can take these things. I think my main point is that movies like this and many others prove that retelling a story in and of itself is not a bad thing. People, I think, get mad at remakes because they're bad a lot of the times.
Well, plenty of people have complained about this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we praise it, which is a part of the point. This just proves that there is room in the world for remakes and parodies and changes. Mel Brooks made his career parodying. You know what? I think that's kind of why I went off on that tangent to begin with. Mel Brooks as a series has been that. Remakes, Spaceballs is a parody and remake in a way of Star Wars, of retelling of that kind of a story. Yeah. Robin Men in Tights is just another tale of Robin Hood that's been done 1,000 times.
High Anxiety is just storytelling style of Hitchcock.
Yes. Yeah. It's all remakes and retellings and things, but they're all incredibly entertaining. And it pays homage to the source material while making its own thing. And that's what Mel Brooks really was. That was his whole thing, was taking existing media, twisting it as something a little different, even if it was his own works, and giving the people something new out of something that already existed.
Yeah, and I think
that was his whole thing.
I think the other thing, too, to point out is that I think the producers works really well as a change, because it is a hugely drastic change. You're taking this movie, you're turning it into a musical. I think it works really well because it was done with the right heart and the right intentions. And I think something that's happening a lot these days is that there's things that are coming out that are not done with the right heart and intention behind it. Think about the live action movies that are coming out from Disney. People are complaining about those movies a lot, and hopefully they're finally coming to an end. And the reason is that whether or not we want to acknowledge it or whether or not we really necessarily see it, it's because the heart isn't there. When you go to the movie theater to see these live action movies, it's just kind of like in the back of your mind where this is a cash grab. It's heartless. It's a heartless remake.
It was done
making you buy it so that you can see it in a different way. And it is a change of medium, but it's not a change of medium enough to be worth it.
Well, and it's done by the original creator who did it the first time.
But even though it's done by the original creator that did it the first time, they didn't change it enough to make it actually really worth watching.
They didn't do what they did with this. They didn't improve it.
Yeah,
they didn't change it. They took the exact same thing, put it in a different medium, and made the songs are the same. The feeling is the same. If they took Mulan, funny enough, is actually the best example of Disney making it very different. That's in a completely original film from the original one.
Yeah, but that movie's awful.
But it's awful. But it's not awful because it's different. It's awful because it's just bad. And Disney got the wrong idea. They went, well, see? Disney goes, see? We did the thing you said. We made it very different. You still didn't like it. But you also made it bad. You didn't have the heart of the original. You missed the heart.
And that is
Mulan didn't grow or change. She was always a goddess, and she just stopped holding herself back. That's not the original intent. That's not the produce. That would be if this movie was about the producers wanting to make a good play and then succeeded to make a good play.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. The heart of the film is that original plot. That's what matters. If you can hold that original intent while still making something unique, you can make remakes all day long and people are going to eat it up because it still has the heart of what they were looking for. And I think that's what's missing from so many films is the heart. Not even just remakes, original films in general. It's heart. Everything feels like it's, like you said, a cash grab.
Well,
we're just trying to grab an IP that people recognize and throw it out there.
Well, and that's the thing that I think why studios like A24 and stuff really kind of started to take off and then stopped taking off is because it started taking off because it was about, the creators are doing the creative thing and we're wanting to fund creative movies doing creative things. And now it's become such a thing that A24 they have movies coming out, I think, more often than some of the major studios now, to where people are just like, oh, it's A24. They're really hit or miss, and it's just they're going to throw anything out there.
Yeah,
and it's some of it doesn't have a lot of heart to it anymore.
Well, to a point, the audience is half the problem. We are often
wait, hold up. Are you in talks with Disney right now, DJ? Are you starting to get their PR team on the thing where it's just like, actually the issue isn't the studio, it's the audience.
Oh, the part of another part of it is that we ask for original stuff and then we won't watch it because we go watch the IP. This is the thing I used to say about video games all the time. It's like people will say, why are there not enough original stuff? Why is there Call of Duty number 476? Because guess what people buy with their wallets?
They buy Call of Duty.
They buy Call of Duty 476. That's the reason. That's the reason Disney makes. That's the reason that Disney makes live action remakes of every one of their movies because people go watch them. Yeah. They do well enough at the box office. They don't have to rewrite very much. It's the production value is kind of high, but most of them actually made their money back. Even some of the worst ones,
Little Mermaid broke even, if I remember correctly. It made a small profit, but it was in theaters for 5 months.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just to hold property rights to characters so they can keep them in their Disney parks, the Disney version of a character. Yeah. So it is in a way a money making scheme, but they make money off of most of them. People like nostalgia. They watch what they're used to. If you want more original content to come out, you're going to have to go pay and watch original content because otherwise they make what we watch. And if we don't watch it, they're not going to make it. And that's some of the best stuff I've ever seen that I enjoyed didn't get very far because of two reasons. The production value was really high and the audience was really low. The higher the production value, the more audience they need to get it going. Yeah. The Acolyte got canceled for that very reason. It had a decent audience, but the production value was so high. It had a really high. It had a lot to give.
Well, it was also trash.
Well, that's the thing. It was bad, and the production value was high, so people dropped off. You have to maintain the heart. If you lose that, Mel Brooks had it, and despite how much we kind of ripped him on some of this stuff, he really did a really good job of making films and.
Well, his films
the art of filmmaking in general has died, and the art of parody is definitely dead. And I would love to see that come back too.
The art of parody is, I think that the art of parody died around. I think the last good parody movie is maybe Not Another Teen Movie. Is like the last more modern parody movie that's relatively
the
good.
Scary movies.
Scary Movie 1 and 2 are really good. 3 is like anything that didn't have the
Wayans brothers. Yeah. 3 was okay. 4 was wild and 5 was stupid. And I will say, what part of what I think helped kill parody movies was that when they made epic movie.
Superhero movie,
date movie, superhero movie, and they were just overproduced Saturday Night Live skits, which is fine. Some of it's funny, but it doesn't hold up to this when it's an act. Mel Brooks didn't make parody films. He made films, actual films.
An original story that is making fun of.
Yes.
Yeah.
He made original films that happen to be parody. There's a big difference. And I think the Wayans brothers understood that, at least to a point, with their stuff. And
well, Scary Movie 1 and 2 are actually both like their own movies. They are parodying directly to films, like their Scream and I think it's House on the House on it's not House on Haunted Hill. It's the The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, Haunting of Hill House.
They had made, I think there had been a really bad parody of The Haunting of Hill House. So they did a haunted movie. Scary Movie 2 is a haunted house trope.
Yeah.
The original Scary Movie is slasher tropes. So it's mainly Scream as the storyline. But most of the jokes come from like, I Know What You Did Last Summer and films like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that I'm seeing a lot more gems. There's still a lot of slop coming out, but I'm starting to see a lot more diamonds in the rough popping up amongst these films, and I'm really hoping that more of this stuff starts to come up.
It would be nice if we had another director that was like Mel Brooks. Like, that's the thing. It's just there hasn't really been a good comedic director. Like, there's comedic directors, and they have some of their hits. The problem is that they are not the same kind of movies as Mel Brooks.
Well, no, I don't think anyone's going to have his same...
Well, and I'm not talking about a clone.
I know.
Like,
but I mean, even...
somebody who loves making movies and is willing to make a good original story that's a parody, that's kind of... I'm just like...
I feel like
Renfield loves movies.
Is the most modern one that got close to that. Someone who like, you can tell that the person who made that had
they loved
they had a love for the original Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little bit more of an over the top modern film, which makes sense, but you can tell that that pays homage to the original film.
Yeah.
And that when I watched Renfield, I'm like, oh, a Mel Brooks, like somebody who admires the original while also breaking it apart and doing something original. More of that.
Yeah.
All right, I am done.
Oh, thank goodness.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, everybody in the audience, I turned this thing off like 45 minutes ago.
Probably
around like hour 2 of the Great Muppet Rant. I think we've had that the thing is, I think you and I have had that discussion on recordings like twice now.
A few times.
We've talked about
Muppets, Lego, these are different, claymation, these are different.
Yes, let's not begin it again.
They're just different mediums to tell a story that are unique. And that's why I like them.
Yeah, it's fair. Speaking about things that people like videos that they like, so be sure to hit that like button if you like this video, if you like our comments and things like that. Otherwise, we're open to a discussion in the comments below. What did you think about The Producers 2005 video in general? Just, we're always open to discussion. Also, if you guys have an idea for what you want to see moving forward, do you want us to do one where we actually recap Mel Brooks? We kind of did that in this one. But if you want a more formal, let's discuss like all the Mel Brooks movies that we watched and really get into it, we'll do that if you're interested. Otherwise, we'll start a new series. I think we kind of hit on at least 2 that we're talking about, maybe Hitchcock or The Muppets. Yeah?
I like The Muppets one. Let's do it.
So if you have a preference of those 2, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, subscribe if you haven't already, and please share us with your friends. If you like these videos, if you like our sense of humor and what we talk about, then your friends probably would too. So be sure to share. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching.